Jordan Eilif power. She's going to give a lot of pressure to Mississippi State, but Mississippi State has consistency in the middle.
Arissa Smith, the current D1 leader in hitting percentage, hitting a blistering .497. Mississippi State is looking to run the offense through her, so be prepared to see her get a lot of balls starting this game off.
Of course, we all know in order to run those middles, you have to be passing exceptionally well. Sylvia Darty-Dennis hoping her team comes through it. They use a couple of different systems, Mississippi State does. They run a 6-2 offense using 2 setters and a front row hitter at all times. We'll get more into that later on. And first serve is up. And it's Harness who's going to start serving here for Mississippi State. She's young, or excuse me, she's balancing out the younger setter. She's a grad student. Pass is solid. They go to Eilif early. Eilif attacking hands.
Like I said in that open, we're going to see a lot of her today. She is a lefty, which makes it so much harder for teams to set up a defense around her, hitting at a different spot than majority of the people who are right-handed on the court.
Reagan Haith serving. Pass is up, but not ideal. It's going to be outside. Big swing block is there. Eilif gets a piece of it, but no good. Bulldogs point.
And there's that Mississippi State block we mentioned as well. We're just seeing everything we talked about in that open in the first couple of those points. But really great setup. Missouri was out of system, so they knew where the ball was going. Mississippi State got 4 hands right in front of them, and great press over to net for the block.
Mele Corral-Burgoyevich. Back again. They are going to go to Eilif time and time again. You know, when it all comes up, makes you feel very smart about what you talked about in the open.
Yeah, we were expecting to see her, and Missouri is establishing her early, getting 2 out of the 3 last balls that were set on Missouri's side.
Eilif now from the service line. Well passed. And just winding up and letting it fly.
Kaylin Newsom, that's a name that we're going to hear a lot for Mississippi State. Such a great outside. Can really see the court, just a really good all-around player.
Arissa Smith behind the service line. It's a little tape. Running the middle back. Beautiful dig. Outside again. Off hands. Sands gets the first touch for Mizzou, but they're unable to convert.
Great dig, just a little too far for someone else to get to.
Arissa Smith again. Long, strong set to the pin.
Mississippi State is doing a great job of kind of establishing their outsides right now. Newsom is one of their top kill getters and getting her involved, and she's just finding great ways to split that block.
Eilif from the backcourt. Too hot for Harness to handle.
I love that choice to get her involved in the back row. That's something that we don't see very often right now in a college game, is seeing right side playing 6 rotations all the way around, but she can hit from the front and the back row, just finding open spots on the court.
Ball is long. You saw Mimi Shackelford attack. That's part of the reason they wanted to go to the 6-2, is because between Beckham and Shackelford, Mississippi State has very strong right side players.
Yeah, coach mentioned that they are just so strong offensively and defensively that you can't not have them on the court.
And so now there's a double sub, meaning Beckham comes on, Shackelford off. Klein is behind the service line now and harnesses it off. It gives Mississippi State big presence on the right side at all times. touch on that one. Don Sullivan, the head coach of the Missouri Tigers, one of the 2023 SEC Coaches of the Year last year because it was co-owned. Tight dig. Sands tries to get underneath it, but it's just spinning. Mississippi State in control right now as Caitlin Newsom is behind the line. She's new this year. Southeast Louisiana. I love a little pop down the line. Michael Vernon's going to make us say her name. Meanwhile, Julie Darty-Dennis was telling you and I that they flew in this morning because it was homecoming here yesterday, and there were no
2 hours away to be able to come in.
So now Mary Neal is in. You'll notice that they're using 2 liberos as well. Mary Neal, number 8, is serving and playing back in the defense. There's Vernon again. We haven't said enough about Michael Vernon, so she's going to make us talk about her.
Yeah, I mean, she's another integral part of this Missouri offense as well. Put up 21 kills on Sunday against Tennessee as well. That's a name you will not be shocked. She is a grad.
Outside again, Sands sits right in the pocket. Excellent dig. Newsom digs. Eiliff again. That's a big block. Larissa Smith, part of it. Carly Schmidt going deep. Finally blasting through the block is Janet Dimmeray.
And the interesting part of that rally is how many balls Maya Sands, the libero from Missouri, took during that. That was something Mississippi State mentioned, that they wanted to keep the ball away from her as much as possible, and seeing that she's able to dig at such a high level kept Missouri in that.
Sands, that was pretty incredible too on that serve. Back, kaboom goes Ariana Beckham.
Big time swing by her down that line. Love the way that Mississippi State is getting so many different offensive players involved early in this game.
Well, and now it makes total sense why they're running that 6-2, right? We've seen Beckham and Shackelford crush the ball. Harness back in now, as is Shackelford. Tap down. No reason to make it any more difficult than it is.
And we see Mississippi State serving to Michael Vernon in that right back position. Such an awkward angle for setters to take that ball over their shoulder from that angle.
Eiliff again. Schmidt well off the net, finds the coffin corner, because that's where balls go to die.
I like that.
Don't you think? That's a really hard one.
Yeah, I mean, that's a hard place to dig that ball. Really great shot, high over the block to that deep corner.
Little tip into the campfire. It's Dimmeray. Colleen Finney comes up in the front court for Mizzou right now. And you and I had talked about her when we called the Kentucky match. They weren't going to her as much as they did earlier in the set. She was quite effective. It was a nice block.
Yeah, that was 1 point. She was hitting almost perfect. Had no errors at all.
Yeah. Kaylin Rush will substitute back out. She came in, did her job as a server. And Reagan Hay is back in. Haley Corral-Blagojevich behind the service line. Ace for Blagojevich.
And Coach talked about how lethal her jump serve is. She has a top spin, which can somewhat high air, high reward, the type of ball it spins, but she has a nice curve to that right back in her serve.
She was in the libero jersey last match against Florida. That's how deep this Mississippi State team is. Colleen Finney, say her name. They certainly did.
Yeah, they got her involved in that one. It started off with a pass. In order for Missouri to get those middles involved, they're going to have to get a ball at least close enough to the net for them to run. And that was beautiful choice, one-on-one block right off the hands.
Ball tailing away as lefties do. I'm loving the right side production for Mississippi State. That time Shackelford.
Yeah, going high off the hands. When you use those hands, the court opens up about 20 more feet. It's so much harder to dig because you don't know where that ball could potentially go off of those blockers' hands.
Yeah, 3 kills on 5 swings for the middles of Mississippi State. Eiliff. I think there was a net violation, I'm not sure. Point Mizzou. Carlise Perez Catala enters. Transfer from the University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley. We welcome those of you who are just joining us. We're in the Hearn Center in Columbia, Missouri. First set action between Mississippi State and Mizzou. And Mizzou on a 7-3 run while we take our first time out.
Ugh, a rash? Maybe it'll go away. Oh, how am I gonna find a doctor I'll feel comfortable?
Welcome back to the Hearn Center in Columbia, Missouri. Mississippi State on a 7-3 run in this first set. Leah, what stands out to you?
Their offense currently, they have 9 kills, no errors, hitting a blistering 529. They have over 5 players that have at least...
Mississippi State running a 6-2 offense, meaning they're using 2 setters, so they have 6 hitters available at all times. And they're also using 2 liberos, Neal and Yates. Right now, Yates is in. Could be a variety of different reasons that you would use 2 liberos.
Yeah, sometimes you have a libero that might be more defensive-minded, really good at digging, and then you might have a libero that is also way stronger at serve receipts, so just kind of what your needs are. But that also is a new rule this year in the NCAA of being able to have 2 liberos drafts. Usually it was 1.
Michael Vernon hammers the ball before anybody gets confused. Tomato, tomato, libero. It really depends on how you're trained. They're both correct.
But going back to that swing by Vernon, Setter was on the run and just high swing to that deep corner off.
Sands serves. Blagojevich, beautiful. Vernon, pike, block, straight down.
Very, very big block. Just beautiful press over, as you could tell, really piked and threw those hands back into the seam and back to the court.
Yeah, I don't usually use the term pike on a block, right? But it just looked like her piking. So there you go. And that looks like her hammering.
Yeah, she just said, we got to make sure the commentators know that I'm a part of this game,
yeah,
too.
Exactly.
Getting all the touches, blocking it offensively.
4-0 run for Mizzou. Our featured SEC Network volleyball matchup Friday night has number 23 Florida hosting. Brought back in beautifully by Yates. Free ball, block is set up, and it's just too hot for Yates. Vernon unloads.
Big swing. I love the confidence to go after that in an out-of-system situation. I mean, the setter's not taking the ball. She all the way across from the court, got her feet there, and swung away to that deep 5-6 seam.
Points for Mizzou. Tie this game back up. Sands puts up a hittable ball for Vernon. Vernon going for high hands. The original call is no, and coach cannot get to the table fast enough to grab that challenge card. Dawn Sullivan challenging this play.
The call on the floor is the ball out. Point Mississippi State. Missouri is challenging that there was a touch on the block.
Well, this is where we get to play official when it really doesn't matter at all what we say. We're up high. I don't know, did you see anything?
Hard angle because we're right on the net, but let's see what we get out of this video.
I'm not sure if that video confirms the call, but
I feel like you might need a touch from behind as well, camera view, to be able to see it as well.
let's see what we see in this one.
Oh. Yep.
Oh. Hashtag awkward. That's sure does.
For the touches off the block.
The call was going to be reversed. There was a touch on the block, point Missouri, and they retained their challenge.
A great call by Missouri to challenge that. Michael Vernon saw it. She has 6 kills so far. And that gives Mizzou the lead. Sands continuing to serve. Remember, it's a 6-0 scoring run right now. The break was long enough to ice the server. But how about that? Mississippi State led 15-10. Mizzou did the work. Now Mississippi State, can they bring all that pressure back? Kaylin Newsom is behind the service line. Right in the middle, it was Reagan Hay.
Missouri starting to get those middles involved, the better that their passing is. I'm going to keep saying it. Where you can take your offense is so dependent on that first touch.
Well, let's keep an eye and talk about the first touch. First touch really looks great there for Mississippi State. Sands will set Iliff, as have been done so many times before. Ball not up, although everybody got a great look at it, but their face is 2 inches away from it. Point Mississippi State. Mary Neal, libero in now and serving. Kaboom! Reagan Haith with another one, an extra sauce on it.
Yeah, doing a good job of finding hands. Sometimes it's so much easier to see hands and blast off of them than trying to find the court, but really high swing, just got that last minute hand, bounced right into the stands.
No cheating. How many attack errors do you think there is between the two teams?
On the court currently?
No, anybody. It's 3. Can you believe that? These teams have been completely low error. Mississippi State's made 1 attack error, and Missouri just 2. Incredible work. Oh, hitting that blind and paid for it. You told us about Mississippi State's block.
Yeah, that great read. They saw, again, an out-of-system situation. The setter's not setting the ball. You know where the ball is going. Mississippi State did a good job of lining up correctly in front of that outside hitter and pressing so hard back into the court.
CC Harness goes after Michael Vernon, as you'd expect. Oh, that's the worst. Everybody okay? Looked like Jordan was going to take it. Michael Vernon's like, okay, she's got this, and I'm just glad they didn't collapse. So Mississippi State's put a couple back-to-back to regain the lead. Vernon's pass. Off the block and out.
Very smart swing. Off the blocker's hand, you had 4 solid hands, and I could see that from where we're at. Going just off the hands, trying to take advantage of.
And if you don't penetrate the net, that's what will happen. Shackelford blasts through.
And those moments as a blocker, it's just like inches of just being able to press a second longer makes such a difference in whether that ball gets blocked or finds its way through.
Corral Blagojevich serving. I mentioned she wore the libero jersey last time. She can also be an outside hitter. She's transferred from Oklahoma. Blocking from the middle. Mississippi State's blocking really has lived up to the hype. That's their third in this set.
Yeah, they're doing a great job of getting in front of Missouri's hitters and knowing their tendencies also. So we see that Finney has been trying to hit that cross body shot back to zone 1, and Mississippi State is doing a great job of diving in front of that and turning their hands back in.
Let's take a look at the block leaders in the SEC. Mississippi State right up against it, all based on the school's footprint. So like Kansas is going to donate for the Kids Foundation that's based in Kansas City, and Arkansas to Arkansas's Children's Hospitals.
Oh, that's so cool.
I
That's
love the way they're
amazing.
doing that. Yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. We've had 7 ties and 2 lead changes in this first set. Pass is on the money, allowed to go quick to Iliff. Karabogovic, nice dig. And a net violation against Mizzou. Missouri on a 5-1 score, or Mississippi State on a 5-point scoring run. Straight down.
We're seeing some real big blocks today, and from Missouri as well. I just love the way that both teams are forming their hand and shaping them to push back into the court. It's such an underrated skill in block in, so that ball can't be used to hit out.
To the middle. Image of Ariana Smith well off the net, telling you how comfortable they are getting the ball to her. Outside, attacking high hands, and no doubt about it, Janet Dimmeray gets it done.
Great swing by her. I like how she's staying high and also just using that block. Sometimes that's even more frustrating as a defense to have balls going off of your hands like that, but really great high-level swing by her. It's such a hard technique because you're looking for inches of a fingernail. So the big thing is making sure your arm is finishing high. You don't want to pull back down into the net or kind of finish your arm down into the court, because that's when you get blocked, or that's when you're trying to like force it to the court. But staying high, sometimes hitting the ball a little flat to get those hands at the last moment.
Jordan Iliff, you told us to keep an eye on her. She is certainly doing well, has 4 kills, 3 digs. What kind of pressure does it add on the team when you've got somebody like that to worry about the opposing team?
Yeah.
Jordan Iliff serving. Just a few points away from the end of the set. Oh, that helps. Locked up at 22 off that ace.
And that's another part of her game that we can talk about a lot. She can get on runs with her serve, and very quickly. We've seen it multiple times this year at Texas A&M.
There's another one, and it's that tail that gets people. Shackelford uses the block. Mississippi State just 2 points away from taking the set. Marissa Smith serving. Iliff, it's sent back. Vernon gets underneath it. Sands. Oh. Shackelford was there. I was wondering if they were going to question whether she was over or not.
Yeah, I was sitting there kind of holding my breath because I was like, ooh, are they gonna let it cross the plane yet? Because that's the big thing, is in order to be called over, that ball can't cross the plane of the net. You're reaching over the net to touch the ball instead of letting it come to you first. But great effort by Maya Sands to get that ball over. One arm.
She's unbelievable. So there it is.
And that over call is a judgment call, so you can't revert, like kind of replay it, go to challenge it or anything. It's whatever the official sees, that's what happens.
It's a great position for Mississippi State to be in as they are at set point. They dropped the first set, the Bulldogs did, in 3 of their last 4 matches. some news and notes, national headlines. First of all, the Jackrabbits still unbeaten.
Something different in you.
Yeah. Set point, Mississippi State. Went to Sands, pass is good. Down the middle to Finney.
Love that choice by Crownover to get the middle involved. We've seen a lot of balls going to Iliff currently, but getting her back involved, trying to get that Mississippi State defense.
It is still set point for the Bulldogs. Perez Catala behind the service line for the Tigers. Pass is great. Back to Shackelford, picked up. Sands steps in to set. Michael Vernon takes a full swing. What a turn. That turn by Shackelford, keeping it alive. Jordan Iliff unloads. And we'll be tied at 24, headed to extra points in set number 1.
I mean, down by 1, and it's set point. I mean, who else do you go to with Jordan Iliff? I mean, the defense by Mississippi State.
Sands. Unbelievable. Reaction time uses the outside hands. That's what you get for having Maya Sands on your team.
I mean, the reigning SEC Libero of the year, and there's a reason for it. I mean, incredible up by her, just keeping her team involved. I mean, that's such a moment. Nope, she's taking all of that.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Coach told us she wanted, but easier said than done for Julie Doherty-Dennis. Beautiful serve, catches her high. Vernon. Who'd you think it was going to go to? Iliff. Ball is wide. Blocked at 25s.
She had a great look, just missed that sideline barely.
So Aaron Klein comes in on the double substitution with the 6-2 offense. Ariana Beckham enters on the right side for the Bulldogs. Vernon gets him to take it down. Pulls the string on that attack.
Yeah, she found her way through that. The Mississippi State block was a little undisciplined. You see very late to that block and just found her there.
This is set point, Mizzou. Mississippi State had 2 set points. Missouri came back and snatched it. Mizzou playing some absolutely fantastic ball. They had a 5-1 run. Dimare puts it away. Liam, let me ask you a question. For Mississippi State, they were riding high. Kind of what do you say to your team to try to get them to not be falling down? Help me out. Falling down, just the feeling of like we had them.
Yeah, no, they had a big lead, I believe 9 points at a time, but that's when you have to tell them to put your foot on the gas. You don't let up just because you might have a little bit of a cushion. You don't stop how you're playing. And you found a little bit that they stopped going a little bit harder. They allowed Missouri multiple chances to be able to swing again and again. So just kind of going back to their game plan. They were serving really hard as well, keeping Missouri out of it and not allowing them to run their offense as much as they wanted to.
Notice on the other side for Mississippi State, number 10 is playing front court now. They did not have her playing front court in the set.
And that's another part of the game that kind of switched for Mississippi State. Missouri got their block involved as well, a little bit more, getting good touches and getting good blocks as well.
Michael Vernon picks up. Just going to be a free ball over how they handle it. First touch is good. Trying to recycle it into the block with a little bit of a push. Leah, I know you do not like the recycle.
I am not a fan of the recycle. That is when a hitter, if the ball might not be perfect, tries to push the ball into the block in hopes that maybe the or themselves would be able to recover it. I I'm not the biggest fan of it because it is, I think, a very high kind of risk play to do, because if your team's not there to cover you, then that ball is getting blocked and you're getting blocked, and that's an error on your part. So I'm 50-50 on it. I'd rather you go up, swipe it off the hands out of bounds instead of trying to push it back in hopes that your team is there, because you never know who's behind you when you're swinging.
I like it when you say you're 50-50. Meanwhile, when we're off air, you're like, I hate it.
It works sometimes. I will give you that. It does work sometimes, but I really am not a fan of it. And anytime I give lessons, I'm like, I'm not teaching you how to do that.
Overpass crush by Janet Dimmeray.
That's your favorite thing, and you think there should be a stat for that. And I think it's an underrated part of volleyball.
I totally do. Michael Vernon serving Mizzou to a 5-0 start. 6-0.
Okay, everybody got their Dos Equis playbooks? Good. There's only one play. Go for Dos. That means when we get a chance to...
Where the committee sees volleyball right now.
And a good example of that is Arizona State ranked in the top 16. USC is not, but USC is in and Arizona State isn't. Fun fact, Arizona State's head coach was the assistant at USC before he headed over there. You can't fault Karel Blagojevich for taking a big swing. That's what you have to do against Mizzou. But at this point, going back to the last set, Mizzou has won 12-1 run against the Bulldogs. That's the other play you don't like, is over on two.
No.
I mean, not on over on two, but with two hands.
No, not with two hands. I think if you're going to go for it, you got to go for it. I mean, I think the only time I think it really works is when you're on the run. That's when I like it. But if you're standing in the middle of the court, you got to be a little bit more aggressive.
All right, but it worked. It worked. Once. Eiliff tries a little tenderness after banging away in the first set.
Great shot choice by her. Mississippi State's defense is now kind of pulled back because she's been banging away at balls and going high off the hands. And such a hard ball to get when it drops.
Pass is great. Block is better. It's Colleen Finney.
Missouri has started to get their block very much involved, making Mississippi State very uncomfortable with things that were working throughout that first set.
Kaylin Rush serving again. Sophomore. What are you reading to the finger of the mouth? Let's vow to never talk about this again. I know it's not that.
No, I think that might be a little bit of a dig, considering Smith's hitting percentage.
Oh, okay. Well, she read the notes. Eiliff, a little extra.
Great high swing. She's starting to incorporate a lot of different shots. So we saw during that first set, she's hitting a lot down the line, now hitting that cross-court shot. Now the tip.
Interception.
What a serve. Torpedo from the back line, and not a tail to the other side. It was down line to line.
Yeah, so Coach talked about in a previous call that we had against Kentucky that she can move the ball around. Everybody talks about that tail that she has to the left, but she had very good control over where she's serving.
There's another one. Outside, Dimmeray unloads. It all started at the service line.
Great high swing, got Mississippi State uncomfortable, out of possession, and getting an easy ball back so Missouri can run their offense.
Second ace in 3 serves. Unreal. Mizzou on a 4-0 scoring run.
Like I said, if you let her get that momentum, her serves start to get better and better the more that she's able to do them.
What can Mississippi State do to switch things up?
Well, if you can give her a different look by maybe shifting, but I think their goal right now should just be to just get the ball high up in the middle of the court, but great effort as well.
That was a great up. And they put it away. Dimmeray. Well, that was another beautiful ball up and in. Dimmeray again. Longest rally we have had so far today. They go back. Kaboom, no touch. Wow. Up after up on both sides of the net.
Great defense. Both of these teams are really good at the one-arm plays, just letting the ball come flying off of one arm, and somehow it's just beautifully controlled.
Yeah, one arm going straight through. But the thing is, we haven't seen a change in Mississippi State's serve-receive at all. Free ball. Michael Vernon will pass. You got Finney going behind. And it just drops. I think Mississippi State was stunned for a moment.
Yeah, it looked like a little miscommunication. Two people were there but didn't know who was going to take it. Great shot, though. Having a lot.
Let's take a look around volleyball. Some of the other scores. Texas leading Georgia 2-1. Georgia, they are.
Yeah, had a little bit of a shaky preseason, kind of trying to figure out what they were doing. And once they got into that Big Ten play, they have been rolling ever since. It's one thing to win in the Big Ten, but to sweep someone in the Big Ten is also a very big deal.
Meanwhile, in this match here, Mississippi State has no kills and 5 errors in this set. First of all, they haven't changed their serve receive, and it has been a really long run. What are some options they have to mix it up?
It's hard because right now their libero is passing out of the right back, and so there's not that much you can do. You have your two outside passing beside each other. You could go to 2 passers, but with I-lift's serve, it's super hard to have 2 people try to take up that court with how much pace is coming behind it and how well she is at placing.
Ball's over. Finney. Raul Blagojevich, nice dig. Here's a free ball to the Bulldogs. And they convert now with Maya Sands. If you go her way, cover is down. Mississippi State did it. They outlasted. They got out of that deathly rotation after a 6-0 run.
Yeah, their defense kept them in that one. But now they're just going to have to focus on 1 point at a time. You're not going to be able to fix this deficit in 1 kill. So just chipping away slowly, trying to get some runs if they can.
That's the word I was trying to get out of my mouth, is that where they're going to be deflated to start set number 2. And I think we saw maybe a little bit of that. For Mizzou, Kiara-Elise Perez-Catala comes in, a sophomore defensive specialist who's been incredible. She was the WAC Libero of the Year last year at University of Texas Rio Grande Valley. On the other side, Mississippi State needs to figure out a way to get going. Kaylin Newsom at the service line. Sands immediately takes that ball. She was pushing Michael Vernon out of the serve receive. A missed dig and a point for the Bulldogs.
Very uncharacteristic of her, and you saw her reaction after that. She was not happy that that ball was not dug perfectly.
So again, Michael Vernon isn't even planning to pass the ball. She walks off the court as the toss goes up and Sands moves over. They're passing with 2. Ball outside again to Schmidt. Schmidt cracks it.
Great deep swing. Hopefully they can get someone involved, someone to will them into this offense. Right now, they're just a little too high air, but great job of splitting the block and finding that open seam.
Goes up. Michael Vernon walks off because she has one job, and that's it.
To swing. You're right. That is her one job, and that's to swing. Mississippi State was putting a ton of pressure on her in that first set to pass, and so Missouri just kind of took her out of it completely and did what she does best, and that's.
She was literally walking off the court every time they tossed, and Sands was moving in there instead of going the opposite way.
Yeah, and that's a little bit of a scheme. I have done it personally. You look like you're about to pass, so then the server thinks you're there, and then at the last moment you dip, and if they already are thinking, I'm serving to that left back, that 5 area of the court, it's going to go there regardless, and then you have Maya Sands sitting there perfectly passing the ball.
Yeah.
Point, Mississippi State. Now serving number 8, Mary Neal.
Mary Neal enters, sophomore libero for Mississippi State. She goes at Michael Vernon. Everybody's going to be trying to go for her, make her do double duty. Blocked and down. Crown over. Enjoyed that.
Missouri's doing a fantastic job of reading Mississippi State's hitters, but also, you know this ball is going to the outside because it was out of system, so they're doing also a really distant together over the net.
Maria Crownover served line to line. Was tough in an overpass. Schmidt again, putting it down. They're having great success with Carly Schmidt. She's got a 4th kill there.
She came in and was ready to start swinging it away, trying to chip at this lead that Missouri has right now.
The kill leaders for Mizzou, Newsom, Shackelford, and Schmidt. Great eye. Perez Catala read it all the way. It was long. Out she goes, and in comes Janet Demaray. Iliff up front with Haith and Demaray for Mizzou. There's a ripper of a serve. And just handled the other way. I don't know what Corral Blagojevich could have done differently. It was a rip of a serve, but Missouri handled it.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the theme of this set for Mississippi State. Just chances where they can handle the ball or score an easy point they're not taking care of. And sometimes that's what you just have to do. Go back to the basics and just play as clean as volleyball as you can.
Good solid swing. It's just the Midas touch at this point. Colleen Finney continues to roll. 5th kill.
The way that she's going up and just singing with such a confidence and seeing the court so well. I mean, Mississippi State's block wasn't touching that. She's just up so quickly and has...
Blasting through the block. Another point for Mississippi State. That start for the Bulldogs just dug such a hole. Marissa Smith goes at Vernon. Michael Vernon doing a fine job passing. And the outsides for Mississippi State are having plenty of success. What's allowing them to do so?
I mean, I think they're just going up confidently. They're just swinging it away. And at this point in the game, that's all you can do. You can't be too methodical of, I'm going to try to find this shot. They're just blasting through Missouri's hands.
Michael Vernon, another good pass. Able to turn it down the line. Every lefty loves a line shot.
Yeah, it's so easy for them with how they're facing. With being a lefty, you want those balls to come right down that line. It's easy for you to get to. And I mean, way.
Iliff with 10 kills in this match. Way to bring it back in. Nice pass. Crownover and Finney combined.
Crownover's just doing a great job of lining up in front of the Mississippi State outsides and presses at that last moment.
Point Tigers. Iliff serving. Great pass. Up top and over. I love a big swing on set point, and that was point Bulldogs. Shackelford went up and just ripped it.
Yeah, she's been a little quiet this set. A lot of the right sides for Mississippi State just haven't seen them the way that we did that first set. So getting them involved, I think, is going to be really big to get Mississippi State back into this game.
Set point number 2, Mizzou. And that'll do it. Missouri Tigers go up 2-0 over Mississippi State. Couple of runs in this set by Mizzou, 7-0 and 6-0, led them to the win.
Okay, everybody got their Dos Equis playbooks? Good. There's only one play. Go for Dos. That means we get a chance to go.
Yep, and by contrast, Mizzou has 65%. They go straight to the middle and a little push from Haith for the first point.
Smart shot. She only had one blocker up. Everybody was back on their heels, ready to take a big swing because of that, and just found an empty part of the court.
Rush back to serve again. She's been coming in every set. Outside, looks like a big swing, but Vernon read it all the way. Schmidt again. Vernon pops it up again. Dimmeray. I like the idea. Execution fell short.
Yeah, trying to swipe off of those hands. You saw she went up kind of like she was about to tip it and tried to push it through. Really smart idea, but just couldn't find the court.
Mary Neal at the service line for the Bulldogs. Vernon stepping in to pass in front of Sands. Iliff. You can kind of tell on that set, right? A little bit behind her. She's facing that way.
Trying to go probably high hands in that situation. Just went a little too far long.
That's the rub with hitting high hands. When you miss, it's a long way. Looks like we've got a challenge.
The call on the court is ball out, point Mississippi State. Missouri is challenging that there was a touch on the block.
We've only seen one other challenge in this set, and it was Don Sullivan challenging a touch, and it was a good call. Call got overturned.
Yeah, Missouri's doing a great job of finding those hands of Mississippi State, so would love to see the angle on this one and see if there was a potential touch. We saw that pointer finger of Mississippi State last time.
Here's a chance for you to be an official. Do you see it? Arissa Smith's hand, excuse me.
It'll be close. That's why they say cut your nails. Never play volleyball with long nails, because that can be the difference between a touch or no touch. Had a couple teammates that lost multiple fingernails from that.
Yeah. Well, we wait and they take a look at it. What does Mississippi State need to do in this set to try to capture a set and extend this match?
I think it's that first touch. So getting back to that first set where it doesn't have to be perfect on top of the setter's head, just...
The call is confirmed, no touch. So therefore, Mississippi State wins the rally and Missouri loses the challenge.
All right, there you go. It was confirmed. So, point Mississippi State. Go ahead, continue your point.
Yeah, since, well, they're serving now, but I think putting pressure back on Missouri, starting with the serve to kind of make them a little bit more one-dimensional again, that you know the ball's going to the pins, and try to take their middles out of that conversation. On the flip side, when they're passing, to give their setter an opportunity to run some type of offense.
Michael Vernon in the middle of the serve receive. I'm just so locked into Mizzou's serve receive now, because when the ball goes in the air, Sands is taking half the court. Whichever half she's on, she's got the whole half. The other two will move. Great up by Mary Neal. Kaboom goes Iliff.
Beautiful swing from the back row to that deep corner in between that 1 and 6. It's so hard to defend that deep corner because it's in between two people, and so it could really be anybody's ball, but very elite.
Ball out. Jordan Iliff has 49 aces on the season. which is ridiculous.
That's a huge number, and consider that she still probably has about a month and a half left of playing at least. So that could be a very big number by the end of the season.
We need to look up the NCAA record for that. Turnover goes the other way to Dimmeray.
A big time swing by her, completely over the block. As you saw, Mississippi State's right back player was kind of up behind the block, expecting a tip and just going high over the line.
Perez Catala in now. And she serves between the two hitters. So that's the way you want to serve, right?
Yeah.
Away from the libero and the seam between the other two.
That's such a difficult seam, especially between two outsides, because you never know. There are some outsides that love passing and then going to attack, but it looks like they were probably a little too close together, so they didn't know who. It was like Mississippi State's trying to make that same adjustment Missouri was doing of having their outside that is front row pushing out at that last moment and passing too, which is something I haven't seen that often, that both sides are doing that as well.
Beautiful, like they played together before, that pass, so good.
I like the aggression to just go after it. You saw that the ball was probably going to go over the net, so why not help it out a little bit and push it down to the ground?
Pass is good, options available. Shackelford takes a step in. Vernon, nice high ball. Too hot. Point, Bulldogs.
Great high swing by Newsom over the block. That's such a hard ball to defend because hitters basically have the entire court because they're hitting above the block and so they can see what's open.
Smith's serve is good, brought back in. Vernon just pops off the floor, sends that long. Mississippi State has not come back from 0-2 this year, and look at the numbers to get it started.
Yeah, it's so difficult as a middle to get involved in the offense if your passing isn't well, because when you're off the net, it's really hard because middles are usually running a very quick ball that's coming right out of the setter's hands, and so if the setter has to run off the net, the middles become non-existent in the offense.
Meanwhile, Haith on the other side. Haith and Finney in the middle for Missouri are getting a lot of good looks.
Yeah, and they're finding open parts of the court. Mississippi State right now is barely kind of putting one blocker in front of them, so they kind of have free range to hit, and they're doing a great job of moving the ball around as well.
Blagojevich, nice pass. Ball is off and out. Mississippi State has a lot of work left to do. Mizzou has not lost a match this season when they have started off 2-0 the first couple of sets.
It's going to start with Mississippi State serving, putting more pressure onto Missouri to keep them out of the system.
Aaron Klein's serve. Perez Catala handles it. Perez Catala starts that off right.
Yeah, that ball was going really, really deep and got it at the last moment. A really great angle to get the ball back to the setter, and Michael Vernon going high off the hands.
Block sends it back for a second swing. Oh, speedy. When she gets a hold of it, Newsom rips it. And it's really hard to come back from. It's flying off people's hands.
Yeah, it would be great to see her get involved more in an in-system where she can run the tempo and set up those high balls that you have to wait for and usually have a block set up. But she's trying to get her team involved.
Yeah, she has 11 kills so far today. Eiliff, meanwhile, And let me ask you this, Leah. When you see a ball like that, we just saw it on both sides, where the hands kind of fly out to the side and the ball takes off like a taxi. What's the fix for that?
Well, sometimes it kind of just depends on your position of the court and knowing kind of where your body is. So sometimes those balls might be flying out and you're trying to dig them. And I think maybe taking a step back and letting them move forward instead of trying to move backwards and digging is a big name of the game. It makes it easier to be able to decipher whether that ball's in or out.
We'll look for a touch for Demaray. Good pass outside. And Carly Schmidt lets it fly.
Interesting observation I'm seeing as I'm watching Mississippi State. A lot of their balls from their setter are kind of off the net, so would love to get them a little bit closer so they have more of a range. They're kind of reaching back right now and trying to pull the ball around, so they're maybe not be getting the looks or the angles that they want from the outsides.
We'll keep an eye on it. Started off with that pass from Michael Vernon, runs well. There we're going to Smith in the middle. Solo block by her as well. But even that pass pulls the setter off the net. Yes. Smith and Beckham end the conversation.
There's that Mississippi State block. We haven't seen them in a while. They're going to really need that if they want to continue staying close to Missouri in this game. Missouri has 7 blocks, Mississippi State's 3.
Vernon passing a lot of balls. Marissa Smith had to move people out of her way on her route. And Iliff again, off hands. She's so precise hitting the top of those fingers.
Yeah, and a lot of her balls currently are going deep. Would love to see Mississippi State maybe take more of a little step back in that middle back defense, so then that person can now kind of touches that are going high over the ball.
Dug by Sands, Iliff from the backcourt, no good.
Now serving number 11, Cece Harness.
Cece Harness comes in to serve. And again, you've got Michael Vernon in the center of the serve receive. Now they're going. They're finding Smith now, repeatedly.
Yeah, and that's that situation of you get the ball to the setter somewhat in front of that 10-foot line, you can keep your middles involved. So don't be shocked if we see them continually to push the middles. And she even has 2 blockers up on her and still finding a way through.
Blasting through the block the other way is Demaray. I love the crack every time Schmidt hits the ball. It is hard. Can she pull the string, mixed up speeds? Why? Right? Doesn't need to.
She's currently the offense that Mississippi State needs right now. Going up there and swinging away. I love that even in this situation, she's still swinging hard, not taking anything off of it.
Coach had told us that she likes the matchup between Schmidt and Iliff. Sands, not just underneath it, but brings it back into the setter's hands. They're going so fast out to Schmidt. Demaray shut down. Shackelford and Smith with a heavy roof.
Those are my favorite blocks, when you can hear the distinct like boom boom of the ball hitting the block's hand and going straight down to the court.
Mississippi State has a little scoring run they put together for nothing as they lead set 3. Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central on the SEC Net. 6-0 run, or 6-1 run. Here's Iliff, backcourt. Michael Vernon under and over dig. What's been the difference for Mississippi State.
I think their offense, as we see with these numbers, getting their offense back involved, making more pressure on Missouri, because now you see they're hitting 670-6-0-6-7 because of Mississippi State's block.
Yeah, I mean, Missouri has 9 kills and 8 attack errors. Meanwhile, in this one, Mississippi State 7 kills, no errors. Well, that'll do.
That was the first set for them. They were playing with no errors and keeping the ball in and allowing them to try to just play. I think that's a big thing, is Mississippi State allowing themselves to just stay in the game. If you're making so many errors, those are quick points that go right back to Missouri.
They've made a change for Missouri. Trying to find some winning love. Sierra Dudley is in setting now for them, number 2. And then you see the addition of Naomi Franco on the outside, a 6'3" senior out of Fayetteville, Georgia. Perez Catala. Schmidt again. Perez Catala gets underneath it. Arissa Smith with a finger wag on the block.
She did it back. She was getting Missouri back for that finger wave they had earlier in this game, but it's such a difference maker of Mississippi State getting that block back involved in this game. They kind of lost it in the second set, but it's such an integral part of their game.
Mile Corral Blagojevich at the service line for the Bulldogs. Sands handles first ball, so that Michael Vernon can go to work and do that.
She just gets so high over the block with her jumping ability, and then she's able to see the court so well that just going off of those hands is just working constantly for her.
Sands goes into traffic with a lot of Mississippi State players there. And so smart by Shackelford, just over the top and soft.
Very high IQ play by her. She's been banging away the majority of the game. So dropping that tip in because Missouri's defense is back, waiting for her to swing hard off those.
In a straight road for Sands to get it. What a hit. That's not the easiest thing to do, coming over your shoulder like that, and especially when Naomi Franco just entered the game.
Yeah, that's a really uncomfortable swing, especially for a lefty, kind of having to wait and go over the block, but really high, maybe not the best set, just going high off the hands and continuing to play.
Crown over serving. Iliff up front again. Mississippi State is playing confident.
Yes.
Right? In the second set, they looked defeated again. They almost won the first set.
I love that choice. I mean, that's quite a long string set. So she was over in zone 4 in front of that left front and then sending it back to the right side, having Missouri's blockers kind of have to find their way back over because they didn't think that ball was going to be set over there.
Ball is long. Now we saw Mississippi State come in, played very confidently. They had 2 set points in the first set. Missouri outlasted them. And then the beginning of set 2, the whole first half of it, they were just played defeated, deflated as well. So this is back to what we started with. And the aggressive attacking continues. Kaylin Newsom.
And also saying, I've been watching the sets to see where they're located, and Mississippi State started putting their outsides more closer to the net so they have an opportunity to hit all their angles. So, of course, we're seeing better tempo and things like that once they got their setters in the correct position.
Well, and it's also, you had said about their side-out percentage, Mississippi State is now hitting above that 50, or scoring above that 50-point side-out. They're at 54.5. Our featured SEC Network volleyball matchup Friday night has number 23 Florida hosting Tennessee at the O'Connell Center in Gainesville. The Gators have beaten the Balls 3-0 over the Lady Balls. Look at the engagement. I'm just watching the engagement of the players' eyes and the way they had their eyes on the coach and focused.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's something that maybe you don't notice or talk about, but that's such a difference maker. If everyone's engaged, understanding what the game plan is, what they're supposed to do when they get out on the court, you have more success.
There we go. Taking a look at Shackelford and Newsom and how they've been hitting, really carrying. Iliff has to go behind it. Not in any way ideal, and then it's the quick first touch and execution of Mississippi State.
I love when teams in transition situations get their middles involved because it's so hard because Missouri's team is still trying to get back on defense to get a quick hit back out.
And just Mizzou is scrambling all the time. Here's another free ball situation. Outside, Sands picks it up. Iliff ends the 11-4 run by Mississippi State.
A great high swing. Wouldn't be shocked if Missouri tries to get her back into this game to try to cover this point spread a little bit.
Rush serving. That's the very first attack error of the set for Mississippi State.
And playing some clean volleyball. Definitely probably want that one back. In that situation, you just kind of want to control it, keep it in, and allow your defense to play right after.
Yeah, Jordan Iliff with a double-double, 14 kills and 11 digs. Doing her part, no question. Of course, Mississippi State has to be a little bit leery because Missouri did come back in that first set. What do you think is most critical for the Bulldogs right now?
Just playing clean, like not having the unforced error of hitting the ball in the net or serving a ball out, giving yourself a chance and not trying to win 3 points in 1 point. Just working your way 1 point at a time and just playing consistent and clean. That's all they need right now. If they play clean, like they have been with no hitting errors other than the one, then they win this set. But when you start making those errors and you allow Missouri to kind of get that momentum back and work their way back in, that's when you get into trouble that you had that first set.
Let's check in again on some updated scores. Pittsburgh leading Stanford 2-0. Texas.
Very big upsets this year, 1 and 2 on their home court. So them at home, I think that's a scary thought of SMU getting to play in Dallas against any top-ranked team.
Little attack. Iliff attacking the ball. You know, before this point, Mississippi State up 5 on the team. That happened twice in set number 1, and they lost it. So,
like I said earlier, I wouldn't be shocked if Missouri starts giving every ball to Iliff to try to will them. Swinger.
the overdig is out. There's only one speed when Schmidt attacks the ball.
Yeah, she's going after it. She heard me talking about big swings, and she decided to have one herself.
Mississippi State 2 points away from pushing this to a 4th. Goes right at Sands. A beautiful set. Crown over in the air.
A smart shot in that situation. Ball was a little tight, just tipping it into that donut area of the court where there's about 5 defenders that could potentially pick it up. It's such a hard spot of the court to play defense in.
Service ace, the 50th of the season for Jordan Iliff.
And she, painted that line barely. Beautiful, beautiful serve, that line to line. Such a small window of court.
Of the day, here she goes again, another big swing. Schmidt way off the net, keeps her composure.
Super smart shot in that situation. You're almost 10 feet off the net in an out-of-system situation, just swinging high, going into the hands, off the hands of Missouri.
Timeout, Mizzou. What a difference. One attack error in the entire set for Mississippi State. By contrast, Missouri, 9. We're on that back half of the SEC now. Here are some big ones. We told you about Tennessee and Florida. What else really lights your fire? I know that our pleasure of calling them earlier this year. It's a very different looking team with lots of talent.
But they have a freshman outside who I am obsessed with.
Yes?
Very much so. The way she has such a high volleyball IQ that as a freshman you're not expecting, but was super fun to watch her when we got to do their game against Georgia.
Set point, Mississippi State. CC Harness serving and setting. Vernon is pushed out of the serve receive. Sands dimes it. Colleen Finney behind the setter. That's one.
Very interesting serving choice on there. You have Vernon pushed out and Sands in the middle, and you had Eiliff pulled in the serve, and Mississippi State serves Sands.
Set point number 2, Bulldogs. Schmidt, well off the net. You pointed it out earlier. Setter always wins the joust. Always.
It must be something that they're taught, because you just, as soon as I see someone go up with the setter, I'm like, the setter's got that one.
Yeah, we push second.
Yeah, they're so aggressive. It's so aggressive.
Plus we don't get to hit, you know, so like every little thing that we can challenge at the net is a big deal. I'm telling you.
I mean, you know who was notorious for that?
Who?
Madison Lilly.
Oh, yeah?
She loved...
I love it. How about 20 digs for Maya Sands?
Yeah, Mississippi State talked about keeping the ball away from her, but I think there are some situations where she just was able to get a hand on a ball that you just thought was going to be down. So, I mean, she's just phenomenal.
We'll have our first men's basketball game of the season Friday night. It's a charity fundraising exhibition matchup between Bill Self and Janet Demaray serving. Well, still up. Sands knew it was still in play. Vernon puts it down. And, uh-oh. Three unanswered points. Still set point and a service ace. This is Mississippi State's nightmare coming through again.
Had very much of a cushion and just needed one. And that I think that's the worst part, is when you're like, we just need one.
Outside, Schmidt covers herself.
Oh.
And the ball rolls on. Replay. Big time serve. Schmidt off the net. Here goes Michael Vernon. Tapped back. Net play, ball is down, and Mizzou takes the lead. 5 consecutive points. Their other libero, Mary Neal, most likely just to put a different look there as Janet Demaray is serving. And there's a break. How about that? Mississippi State led 24-22 in the first set. Missouri came back 24-20. In this set, Missouri came back to take the lead, now tied at 25. Raul Blagojevich. That was a heck of a serve.
Very, very good serve. I mean, the way to be able to move that ball all the way over to zone 1, it just drops off the table.
Millie Corral Blagojevich serving out of Redondo Beach, California, by way of Oklahoma. with passes. No good. And we continue on. That's so hard, trying to hit high hands from that far off. What are you going to do?
Especially because she was trying to get her feet there inside the court. I like the idea of trying to go high hands, which is a little too high.
We've got a front court setter in Crownover on Mizzou's side. Watch out for her. There's been 11 ties and 7 lead changes in this set alone. Nice first touch. Boom. Comes right back around to the opening story because Arissa Smith puts it away.
I mean, who else would you go to in your crunch time moment? And it started off with a pass. Mississippi State getting that ball right on their setter's head.
Mississippi State. Oh, tough ball. Michael Vernon kept it in play. And blasting through the block.
He's just so good at continually hitting those hands, especially in situations where she might not be able to get a clean kill just going off of those outside hands.
Yeah, and the composure in the first 6 kills for Vernon. Iliff is back up front for Mizzou. Shackelford dug by Crownover. It's going back to Iliff. No, out to Vernon. And that'll do it. Vernon with a kill, and it puts Missouri back on top.
Eye off those hands again. If Mississippi State wants a chance with that, they're going to have to turn their hands back into the court. They're kind of just facing up in the air, which makes it so easy to hit off of them and fly off the court.
That really says something. They didn't go to Iliff on that one. They went to Vernon. So many weapons on this Mizzou Tigers team. Shackelford says, not so fast, my friend.
Big swing. You heard a boom come off of that. She wanted that point bad. And again, Mississippi State is just so good when they're able to get their setter in front of the 10-foot line and allow her to run her offense.
Vernon again. They're going away from Iliff. Oh, that's just, you hate to see that.
Yeah, that's one they definitely want it back. It was the correct choice in that situation. She had one blocker up and just barely went over her head.
Mississippi State led 24-20. Mizzou now at set point. Ball is out. Challenge card is in the hands of Julie Darty-Dennis.
Whole team was screaming for that touch.
The original call on the court is ball out. Missouri wins the rally. Mississippi State is challenging. There was a touch on the block.
Well, this is going to be very interesting to see this as a recap. Mississippi State led 24-20. Mizzou's been 9-4 since then, and
Pinky?
yeah,
State wins the challenge and the point and retains their challenge.
phew. I'm telling you, that ball was down. Missouri started to celebrate, and Julie Darty-Dennis showed some good foot speed to get that challenge card.
Great time to use the challenge.
They had no question. Well, no, I'm interested. They have not set Jordan Iliff in the front court these last few. They've been on to Michael Vernon, who's been fantastic.
Yeah.
But we will see. Michael Vernon pass. Here's Iliff. Iliff attacks out. Mississippi State at set point yet again. Maya Sands in the middle in the serve receive. Look for Maya Sands to kind of push Michael Vernon out a bit. Punched over. Here's an opportunity to win the set. Mississippi State outlasted Missouri in that third set. Wow. A set with 15 ties and 9 lead changes. We're going to 4. Let's look back at set 3 action. Mississippi State got it going.
The big thing was the change of their...
Brown over first touch. Sands next. And Eilish.
Great shot high off the hands. That's something that she's been continually doing through this game. Just going high off the hands. If you have the clean kill, get it, but having way more success just using those hands to her advantage.
Janet Dimmeray, too sharp.
Like the idea. She had it open just a little bit too much on that side of the ball.
Yeah, it's really the attack errors for Mizzou early on in that last set caused a problem. They have 17 attack errors as a team to Mississippi State's 12. Sometimes try smarter, not harder.
Yeah, because he saw that Eilish was going to set that ball and let Crown overtake it. Just smart shot. That's one of those things that since she's a lefty, that can happen.
Rush's serve. Janet Dimmeray well off the net, measures that up. What a dig. Rush comes in with a big dig for Mizzou. Well done by Rush flying in. Followed by a service error. And again, we see the double sub. If you look on the right side of your screen for Mississippi State, if you joined us a little bit late, they're running a 6-2 offense, meaning they're using 2 setters. Why?
Well, their big thing for Mississippi State is their right sides. They have 2 right sides that are very big offensively and defensively, and coach didn't want to have to choose one or the other, so they have both of them, which means that they'll have 3 hitters front row at all times, and their setters only play back row.
Carly Schmidt is not afraid of anything.
Yeah, she's swinging so fearlessly on almost every ball, whether it's off the net, on the net, any in system, out of system, she's just swinging away, and I love that confidence in any moment to just continue doing that.
Yeah, and only 1 attack error on the entire match. 9 kills. Janet Dimmeray tried to put it soft, but got read by Harness. Oh, it feels so good, doesn't it?
From our angle, you can see how well they press over the net. Mississippi State's so good at that, and I think that's an underrated skill of you can get in the right spot to block, but if you're not pressing over, that ball's gonna...
7th block for the Bulldogs today. Eilish goes to work.
Big time swing. Said no more hands, we're going straight to the floor, and just found the seam in between the Mississippi State blockers. That's just the hard part about blocking against a lefty, where they're abnormal compared to everybody else you're usually playing against.
Outside quick, there's Schmidt again. Vernon, first ball. People pushing each other out of the way, trying to do their jobs. Only the 2nd error of the entire match for Schmidt as she tried to come in and save it. Eilish, meanwhile, having a great line. 11 digs, 19 kills, 4 aces. And how many out-of-system serves? Just tapping it over.
Those are ones that you probably want to get back, but I think it makes a difference in those types of situations. Sometimes you see teams are quick to just send the free ball over, but getting a hand on the ball can make defenses kind of struggle because they're assuming that they're going to get an easy ball back.
Ball just a little bit long. Perez Catala serving. Corral Blagojevich in the backcourt, receiving serve for Mississippi State. She's done a little bit of everything today. Including set this one. Michael Vernon's got this. Smith wants it back, no doubt. Instead they go tempo to the pin.
Mississippi State's outsides are so lethal when they get those balls really close to the net. I would love to see Mississippi State continue that positioning of having them right on the net so they can kind of move the ball a little bit more to the positions that they want.
There's going to be a challenge, it looks like. Dawn Sullivan talking to our official, and indeed there is a challenge.
The previous play is under review.
The call on the court is ball in, point Mississippi State. Missouri is challenging that the ball hit the antenna.
And of course, if the ball hits the antenna, then it is automatically out. Usually the antenna will give it away immediately. Oh, all right. Well.
The ball call is going to be reversed. The ball hit the antenna, so Missouri wins the rally and retains the challenge.
Dawn Sullivan has had a couple of really nice challenges in this match, including that one.
I think she was listening to Jordan Iliff. I saw her being like, it was out, it was out. So that's one of the situations of listening to your players when they're on the court and what they're seeing and going along with that trust that you have with them.
Perez Catala serving, and Mississippi State stacked right. Trying to follow it up, and they're in trouble a bit. It's way out. Michael Vernon will take a crack. Tight ball, she has to reach around and put it in, but it works. Michael Vernon's hang time in the air allows her to make decisions.
Yeah, she's able to see the court so well because she's just kind of up there seeing what the Mississippi State block is giving her and just fighting away. So there you saw Mississippi State's block. Hands were kind of a little all over the place and just barely pushes it off, and those trickling down the middle's back.
For anyone that hasn't been with us the entire match, Mississippi State started off playing really well in set one, had set point twice. Missouri overtook them, took set one, took set two handily, Missouri did, because Mississippi State was, I think, still deflated from giving up set one. And then in set three, Mississippi State led all the way. Mizzou came back, pushed them, fought off 4 set points, and won it. And here we are in set number 4, and Jordan Iliff goes to work yet again.
Yeah, she's just so good at being able to paint that line. I mean, it's an easy shot for a lefty, but deep corner defend.
That was the 20th kill in this match for Jordan Iliff. Michael Vernon's everywhere. She's picking up a lot of balls. She's got a double-double today as well. Shackelford, good swing. And Michael Vernon, she's another one. 17 kills, 12 digs, and a block.
Yeah, I think we talked so much about her and Iliff's offense, but defensively, they are constantly putting up double-doubles, touching a ton of balls, but not just getting them up, but getting them in good spots as well.
Well, Missouri has 67 digs in this match so far, and we're not even done. Earlier today, the top 16 revealed. Columbia, Missouri. Sands serves for Mizzou. Moves effortlessly into line. Dig. You love it when somebody has a cover. And Perez Catala does have that cover. However, I think it hit the antenna, and it is a Bulldogs point. Aaron Klein 6'3" sophomore. Setting, and there's the serve. Send it back.
There's that Mississippi State block. They've been playing so much better when they have that block involved. So I wouldn't be shocked if how well their blocking translates to how well they play offensive.
Block of the match. Perfect example of a hang time of Vernon. Click, 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 click. Take your picture.
It's crazy. She kind of goes up there, just waits to see what's open, and then just hits a shot and goes right to that donut, which it's such a hard spot on the court to defend because it could be one of 4 different people's balls at any chance.
An ace serve. As Corral Blagojevich kind of moving on that receive and ends up sending that ball into the stands. There's another one. 9th ace for Mizzou today.
Missouri service has done a great job of pinning Mississippi State high and deep. That's such a hard ball to pass because it's very close to being out, but then sometimes it can drop deep, and so you have to make a choice very quickly of which side you're going to pass off of.
This one straight in front, goes back. No touch, ball is out, and it's these unforced errors that will do you in, and that's enough for Julie Darty Dennis to take a timeout. Missouri on a 3-0-4-0 now scoring run. Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central on the SEC Network, we'll have our latest episode of True South. John T. Edge travels to Jasper, Alabama to Brown.
It just kind of depends on what the committee's looking for and what they want. The SEC the past couple of years have gotten 7 to 8 teams in the tournament.
Outside. Back to Vernon. Hands again. Mississippi State's block doing the work time and time again. And so go to Jordan Iliff.
Yeah, and she's starting to incorporate that sharp part of the court. We've seen her go high off the hands down the line, high and deep seam. Now she goes off that middle blocker is about right hand and just trails off to the up.
Ball down from the middle, you know, as you're talking about RPI and how, you know, the teams that beat you do. I mean, how hard do you think Nebraska is rooting for SMU?
Oh, probably very hard, considering that they swept them too. Not just a 4 or 5 set win, a sweep as well.
Yeah, everybody was like, whoa, that's happening, and then one after the other. Service ace. It's an exciting time of the season because it really gets people thinking about who's going to host. At the same time, coaches are like, don't show me anything right now. Looking smooth. One of the things that's impressed us both is how many different weapons Missouri has used today.
Yeah, they're getting everyone in their offense involved, and even people off the bench that have come in a couple of times have become involved in the offense, and I think that's what's so hard about defending against them is you truly don't know who's going to get that ball in any given moment.
And we have 5 players who have had at least 10 attempts. Carly Schmidt continues to dominate, playing clean ball, and have we seen her tip at all?
Maybe a push through the block, but I don't think a true, like, over the block tip.
Yeah. She can rip it. Michael Vernon's passed a lot of balls today and done them well. Iliff off high hands, time and time again.
Yeah, that deep corner of the court is such a deadly place to swing. I mean, it's in between 2 people, and you don't know.
Stepped in front, here's Schmidt again. Michael Vernon brings it through. And Schmidt Powers through. That's why she cracks it so hard. She's able to rip open seams.
Yeah, she found a way through that block. Finney was kind of off the net a little bit in her blocking movement, so that's why she was able to push through and that kind of waterfall down on the front of the net.
Tell you what, a 5-point lead in this match doesn't really mean a lot. We've seen several 5-point leads and the whole thing flip. So right now, Missouri up. Eiliff, powerful and down.
She just sees the court so well and what's given in front of her and uses it to her advantage. She has 4 hands in front of her. Okay, I'm going to go high off the blocker, off the block, and out to the sidelines. Just such a high IQ volleyball player.
Beautiful dig. That's Maya Sands. Puts it up to Dimare. Shackelford on the outside goes super sharp. Point, Bulldogs.
Love the confidence in that swing, and sometimes in those situations you don't want to take that risk of hitting a very small part of the court, and somehow found a way to get it right in front of that 10-foot line.
Now a righty on the right side, right? So even harder to do that. Janet Dimare, they send it back. Mississippi State's block. Second chance. Corral Blagojevich gets one hand on it, can't be contained in the playing area. And now Missouri leads by 6. Perez Catala came in to serve, but Coach John Sullivan said, nope, Janet Dimare, you're serving this time. Sends the ball long. And now you'll see that substitution.
Now serving number 3, Marissa Smith.
Each of these teams has 3 players in double-figure kills. Sands underneath it, not the most ideal. Corral Blagojevich read the line the whole way. Everybody knows it's Michael Vernon. They go ahead and get set up. And that one just, and I mean just, long.
That was close. I was waiting to see what the line judge was going to say on that one.
Me too. And I mean, if it had been on the other side, then maybe there'd be a challenge if Dawn Sullivan saw it. But yeah. Lead is cut to 4. Michael Vernon, too hot to handle.
Yeah, Missouri tried something different with her. She ran an inside route, what we call as a rip, which is in that 3 zone of the court, but a little bit higher, kind of let her just come trucking in after passing and just beat that block.
And what's the advantage of a rip exactly?
Kind of beat that block, so Mississippi State was kind of already wide out, assuming that she was going to hit that normal outside ball, and then she came in right past that outside and just was able to have open court.
Michael Vernon again. You can get exhausted watching her. Just get back time and time again.
Yeah, and the thing is, she's hanging so high that she's able to find the block as it's coming down and getting those hands, which makes it difficult for the defense to get it, because usually that ball's gonna go flying somewhere that you're not expecting.
Corral Blagojevich. Pass is a little wonky. Here's an opportunity. They run the middle. That's Reagan Haith. Free ball. You've got Eiliff. You've got Haith. And Haith, it is.
Yeah, in those free ball situations, you basically, usually, if it's handled correctly, have basically all your hitters available and decide to go to the middle and just push your way through.
Crownover now has 20 kills to go with her 14 digs. My goodness.
Amanda Shackelford on the kill. Point, Mississippi State.
That was just that's a heavy arm going through a big block.
Yeah.
Just finding your way through.
It went straight down, so for a second I was just kind of stunned.
Yeah,
Like, wait,
I was like, what side did it go on?
what side did it go on? And you have to read body language. Okay, these people are happy. Pass is good. Michael Vernon comes inside again, to your point. And if If you're not sealing the net, the powerful arms by the Mississippi State Bulldogs will make you pay for it.
Yeah, that's a big thing with blocking. You could be in the perfect spot, lined up correctly, but if you only go straight up and don't penetrate that top of the net, those balls come waterfalling down right in front of you.
Aaron Klein's serve, handled. And unloading is Michael Vernon for her 21st kill of the match.
Just hitting so high over the block. That's such a hard ball to defend because she's, I mean, above the blockers, and so she can basically hit wherever. And that
brought back into center. Dug well by Perez Catalva. Eiliff hits it with her purse. And it falls down. I mean, she was falling backwards and kind of swatted at it.
Yeah, with her right hand too.
Yeah.
That's some control that I just don't have. If a ball ever touched my left hand, that ball is going straight in the net.
There we go. Match point, Mizzou. Blockers waiting for it. Sands puts the first ball up. It'll be Eiliff swinging. And it's the story for Mississippi State, their block. 10th of the match.
Yeah, big block. I'm assuming they probably knew who the ball was going to in this match point situation and got really good hands and made sure to press over the net. Just went to a part of the court where Missouri was not.
Missouri match point number 2. Good pass. As it is, Michael Vernon, 22nd kill, and Missouri has a fantastic homestand going 4-0.
Yeah, and I mean, their offense has been the story of this entire time that they've been able to play at home.